What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to David Cross, Why America Sucks at Everything. So David Cross is a stand-up comedian, an actor, a writer, a director. He was in Alvin and the Chipmunks and a bunch of other films. And now we're going to be hearing him talk about the United States, the country that he was born in, that I live in, which has been a crazy country recently, as you guys know. Trust, the whole world knows that at this point. If they didn't, you must have been living under a rock, but the cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows we're crazy. And this one is titled Why America Sucks at Everything. So I don't personally think that America sucks at everything, but we fail our citizens in the most fundamental ways. And we suck at things you simply cannot suck at if you want to have not only a successful country, but a country where people are happy and feel genuinely proud to be part of that country. Not the people who are brainwashed into being proud Americans, people who actually love to live here and live in harmony with each other. Instead, it's constantly a race with one another and fighting each other. It sucks. Everyone's too competitive over here because, again, we're such individualistic people because this country kind of forces you to be that way in a lot of ways. But we're going to let David Cross take the lead here and see what he has to say about America. I'm actually very interested to see what this video is going to be about.
America is the greatest country on earth, the strongest, the richest, the most powerful country on earth. As an American, I'm sure you've heard that roughly 135 times a year. 235 if you go to public school. 335 if you go to a Christian academy. We're told that Americans have the best lives of any people in the world.
Oh my God.
That we have low taxes, small government, and the highest living standards on earth. And most inaccurately, that we're the freest. Well, it is partly true. America is the richest country, not just in the world, but in the history of the world. It's really hard to comprehend just how rich we are. We have 18 million people who are millionaires. American households own about $100 trillion in wealth, an almost unthinkable amount of money. Okay, so America is the richest country ever. But there's a curious paradox. Most Americans actually have a much worse standard of living than people who live in poorer countries like Germany or Finland or Britain. But how can that be? That shouldn't make any sense. Well, here's the shitty deal. Americans get significantly worse services because our tax dollars don't fund them. So of course our services are worse, and thus we enjoy less happy lives than people who live in the aforementioned countries. Not that difficult a concept to conceive, really. You get what you pay for, said the cartoon dog to the other cartoon dog. And while you might think the reason American tax dollars don't fund as many services is because we pay lower taxes than other countries, that's not even true. When you add federal, state, local, and sales taxes and include other costs and services that our taxes don't cover but other countries' taxes do, like our uniquely high health insurance premiums, you'll find that Americans actually give away more of their wages than most of the developed world. For example, in Canada, for a married worker with 2 kids, all of the previously mentioned costs combined, from taxes to health insurance premiums, make up only 11% of the average wage. In the UK, it's just about 26%. Meanwhile, once you tack on the cost of our outlandish health insurance premiums, you're spending a whopping 43% of your paycheck. That's more than France, Finland, Sweden, and Norway.
And the services still suck. Oh, I like what he's talking about here. And this guy, like, laying on the couch with the Patriot juice, you just know it is a disgusting American light beer in that can that we just suck down. Listen, I just hope it already happened to me a couple summers ago when I first went to Germany. I just hope these guys don't make their way over to Europe and try any beer over there. Because when you come back home, listen, in the United States, we do craft beer well, but when it comes to just regular, flat out beer, our beers suck. Oh my God. I'm sorry to make this all about beer, guys, but I mean, it's a big part of life for many people. But no, we're losing a ton of money. The people with a ton of money aren't even losing a ton of money because they pay people who know how to keep their money and get the tax loopholes. It's money, money, money. How many times did I say money?
In real reality, Americans keep much less of what we own than in other countries. In other countries, their government takes a bit more tax, but then gives that money back to their citizens in the form of healthcare or job support, or a general safety net for all vulnerable citizens, no matter how dusky they are. So what do Americans get for the money we pay in? Well, sure, we get a crumbling infrastructure, shameful homelessness, and millions of hungry, neglected children, but we also get some of the worst services in the developed world. Again, our healthcare. American healthcare is simultaneously the most expensive, the least efficient, and the least effective healthcare system in the developed world. Hey, the devil's trifecta. And in exchange for this extremely expensive, inefficient healthcare system, what do we get? Well, we get some of the worst health outcomes in the developed world. We have fewer hospital beds per capita than people in Turkey or Brunei. Americans have a lower life expectancy than people in Lebanon or Cuba. And in the Mississippi Delta and much of Appalachia, life expectancy is lower than in Bangladesh.
Like, this is the saddest part of our country. Just straight food deserts, guys. Like, these people, I don't want to overgeneralize too much, but the Deep South and certain areas in Appalachia, I mean, this is the heart of the opioid crisis. Like, people just zonked out on pills all day. But, like, there's literally no access to healthy food. Like, it doesn't exist. And especially not healthy, affordable food. Then on top of that, places like this, they're completely built for car infrastructure, and like, there's nowhere to exercise or walk or anything like that. Like, the Deep South is one of the most neglected regions in the United States. It's so sad. Like, just how we have our people, like citizens, living like this, bro. And trust me, I know that our national life expectancy is already incredibly low. So if you look at regions like this, I mean, I don't even want to know what the number is. It might be under 70. I would not be surprised. Like, it's so sad. Just there's not enough resources for these people to live like healthy lifestyles. So,
in fact, in 2017, the United Nations sent a commissioner to West Virginia to document what he saw, and he described, quote, third world conditions of absolute poverty, unquote. We even have a higher infant mortality rate than people in Russia and Serbia. In every single metric, America does worse across the board. So why is healthcare so expensive? Because it's so complicated. You have to look for in-network physicians, schedule an established care appointment, beg for coverage from your insurance company that couldn't care less about you, and that's if you're lucky enough to have good insurance. Compare that to Britain and all of those other...
Oh my day. Yeah, I had to go to a doctor recently, guys. What a pain. I literally had to wait 2 months for the appointment. Thankfully, it was just like I have health insurance, but I still had to pay the copay on top of that. But, thankfully it's nothing serious. But imagine if I had like a surgery or something. Like, not only would be scheduling the appointment, that would be a pain. Then you have to worry about how much the surgery is, right? And then you have to worry about if your health insurance is even going to pay out. Like, you got to fight with them to give you that money. It's crazy. But also, guys, can we just appreciate, first of all, shout out to David Cross. He's speaking straight facts on here. And I really like the format of this video. It had like something called Freedom, USA Freedom. It's very creative, kind of artsy. I like the editing style and everything about this so far. It's a great video. Link to this one will be in the description, guys. Make sure you show support. But it's just it's so painful to be faced with these hard truths as an American, knowing that we could be doing so much better for our people. Like, we don't have to live like this, but this is what happens when you put money over people. And our healthcare system is like the worst example of that, because we're failing our people in the most fundamental way. Health is more important than anything else. Health is wealth. That sounds corny, but it's facts. If you're not healthy, don't matter how much money you have. You can't take it to the grave with you. And you're not going to be able-bodied. So what's the point? Health is everything. Money does not matter when it comes to health. Like, we're putting a price on health, and some people can't even afford health. Like, what? That's just insane. It's not right at all. If you think about it like that, I don't even know how we still continue this way.
Evil, socialist-like countries where it's simple.
Exactly.
Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. That's it. I'll repeat that. Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. And here's the best part. Even though Britain offers healthcare for free, their system is actually a lot cheaper to run than ours. Per capita healthcare spending in the US is almost 3 times what it is in Britain, and almost 5 times what Canadians spend. In fact, Americans spend the most per person of any country in the world for healthcare. But the free market is more efficient, you screech. But in America, private systems often aren't efficient at all. Private drug companies have an incentive to charge whatever they can get away with for pharmaceuticals. In Canada, a carton of insulin costs about $20. In the US, it costs $300. And with private insurance companies footing the bill, hospitals have an incentive to get as much money out of patients as possible too. In 2015, the average cost of an MRI scan in the US was $1,119, but it was only $215 in Australia. Spain, about $181. And our healthcare system is so inefficient that we spend over 1/3 of our cost on administration. The United States spends significantly more on administration than we spend on preventative or long-term healthcare. That's just not smart. Okay, we get it. We all know that American healthcare is so much more expensive, you say, but that's the cost of having the freest freedom in God's favorite country. Well, guess what? Medical procedures that are totally free in Britain, like giving birth, cost tens of thousands of dollars in the United States. I mean, you want to talk about the cost of freedom. Sadly, because of these high costs, Americans often avoid going to the doctor.
I love the eagle crying on the can, guys, is just so symbolic. Because our beer is that bad. Like, I'm sorry to get back into this, but it really is. Like, it's embarrassing. But yeah, we know you got to pay to hold your baby when it's born. Like, come on. When I was younger and my mom birthed me, if I was able to read at the time and I saw that charge, there was that charge, I would have slapped the doctor. Oh, bro. This video is hitting so hard. Oh my.
Almost half the population say they do. With shoddy or non-existent health insurance, Americans will wait until their conditions force them into the emergency room where treatment is far more expensive. Again, not a smart system. Quite often, they end up putting off medical visits and dying. Susan Finley, a 53-year-old Walmart employee in Colorado, got pneumonia and took 1 day off of work beyond what Walmart's policy allows. So of course, Walmart's gonna Walmart, which they did by firing her. Without her job, she lost her nominal health care coverage, she struggled to find new work, and after avoiding a visit to the doctor for flu-like symptoms, she was found dead in her apartment.
Damn.
When Americans do manage to get treated, they frequently can't afford it. Simple, life-saving treatments can cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if they don't have really good insurance, they're forced to take on medical debt. Tens of millions of Americans owe medical debt, often into the tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, in a country like Britain or Norway, medical debt is almost unheard of. But hey, that's why GoFundMe is such a critical component of American healthcare.
No, bro.
1 in 3.
Oh my, I just saw a GoFundMe like yesterday as well. I want to hear the stats. I know there's been research on this. People literally can't afford procedures and things, so we end up just paying for them straight up through GoFundMe. Like, why can't we just pay them formally through taxes? Instead, it's this informal process GoFundMe, I know they have insane platform fees and they're taking a chunk as well. And people, we shouldn't have to do that. Like, banding up individually, it just puts people in terrible positions. Like, the GoFundMe is built on like people needing an operation or surgery or something and just not being able to afford it. So everyone chips in, like a healthcare system should work. Also, the little details in this video are they're quite funny. Stockbroken and NRA the app.
Critical component of American healthcare. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills. I'll repeat that. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills. America is such a strong, powerful, rich, and great country that its citizens have to beg strangers on the internet for money so they can get life-saving treatments that are free in the rest of the developed world. But hey, that's just healthcare. Americans get terrible deals wherever you look. Let's take work, for example. Americans work longer hours than people in any other rich country in the world, and that's not because they enjoy sleep deprivation and not seeing their families for days at a time. It's because they don't want to starve, or freeze, or die. See, America has the least generous job support programs, the least generous family benefits, and the least generous unemployment benefits of any wealthy country. It's one of the only countries on Earth that doesn't guarantee paid time off for vacations. It doesn't even help provide paid time off for parents who just had a child. And it's not coincidental that we're also one of the most hostile countries to workers' rights. America has one of the lowest unionization rates in the entire world. Maybe this deprivation, our refusal to give people the means to...
Again, and the unionization, once the higher-ups hear you chatting, trying to band up together and unionize, they shut you down. They demonize that one person who's trying to catalyze that, and now they're the bad guy and no one wants to follow them, and it breaks up the unions. Like, I know people would unionize way more and band up together, but again, like, these movements get shut down all in the name of the dollar. Like, it's all about money. Like, they don't want people to band up. That's the opposite of what our government wants. Like, they don't want to see us together. They want to see us divided and just struggling along on our own, which is just so sad, bro. Actively putting in effort to break us down and split us up. I mean, you see that with the news, how polarizing that is. And that's just like in a media sense. It's in the workplace. It's everywhere. Like, they have citizens by the, like, literally by the balls if you're a male. And they don't even realize it. And if they got everyone by something, no matter who you are. Oh.
Deprivation, our refusal to give people the means to lead a good, dignified life commensurate with how rich our country is, can explain a bit of what we've seen in the United States over the last few decades. Fraying communities, rising rates of depression and suicide, huge numbers of death from drug overdoses. These so-called deaths of despair, suicide, drug overdoses, alcoholic liver disease, they're one big reason why American life expectancy has actually started to decline over the last few years.
What?
And with such poor conditions, it's not a surprise that poverty is so rampant in the United States. America devotes a smaller percentage of spending on social welfare than any other industrialized economy because, say it with me, socialism is evil. It's evil. Go to Denmark and try telling those happy, healthy families enjoying their paid vacation that their system of government is evil. Guess what? I guarantee they'll know you're an American. But I digress. America also has the highest rate of child poverty of any developed country, and the highest percentage of workers earning significantly less than the national median income. That seems pretty evil to me, especially since such a tiny fraction take as much of your money for themselves and their families as you will let them. All the while, both parties smile and shake hands. Across every single metric, no people accept a worse deal than Americans today. High taxes, high cost of living for next to nothing in return from the government. The most expensive healthcare system for the worst health outcomes. More money taken from workers for the highest rate of child poverty. We are the richest country in the history of the world, but we have fewer miles of high-speed rail than Uzbekistan. We are the greatest country in the world, yet we have the most people in prison of any country, and the highest incarceration rate as well, and a higher rate of police killings than in Angola and Sudan. America is bad at everything because instead of choosing to make life better for people through a public healthcare system or more generous childcare policies or better public transit or programs that allow people to spend more time with their families, American law is designed and crafted to protect a class of parasitical middleman industries. Instead of using a proportionally tiny piece of the massive amount of the wealth in this country to make people's lives healthier and happier, most of our elected leaders are, and have been for generations, engaged in a massive project of looting, gently and lovingly guiding as much money as possible from working people into the pockets of the well-connected and the ultra-rich. Think about that as we start hearing about the inevitable rise in homelessness, poverty, starvation, and sickness that will occur during these coming months and years in the greatest, strongest, richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth.
The way that they're also like characterizing a typical middle-aged American man is so accurate, because he just has that look on his face that he didn't even know that all this was going on, even though it's right under you. But the ultra rich, it's such a good point too, because I don't even think it would take that much. It wouldn't take the ultra rich giving out it would take a little bit of wealth. Just get a tiny bit less greedier and our outcomes would be significantly better. They have that much money, but instead they literally want to grind us all the way down, like to the last possible cent, to where then it would create a different reaction. You know, they want to just, I'm not even explaining this well, but essentially they want the price to be as high as possible until, you know, the price is too high and less people are buying it. Like that last penny, bro, they're going to take it out. Doesn't matter if you're broke. They're taking it from you, bro. Oh, face.
I'm David Cross for the Gravel Institute.
Damn, great outro, and just shows how scary all this is. And I also really like this bit. Kind of look like you're flipping through TV channels, and each of them is like a headline or just a fact. I did not know that our life expectancy was declining though. I can see that. Just huge drug problem over here. Yeah, guys, that was why America sucks at everything. You did bring up a lot of different things, you know. It's just a tough pill to swallow. And again, we're swallowing too many pills. Everyone's on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. Fentanyl's everywhere. The drugs is just, it's not right. People should not have to take those types of things, and we're normalizing that. Like that's just a small issue in our country as well, even though it's a massive issue on its own. So let me know what you guys thought about this video. Feel free to leave some thoughts and opinions in the comments just about the country in general. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. I have this video is very pessimistic in some ways, especially with how it ended, but I still have hope in our country. And I do think that it doesn't always have to be this way with the ultra rich. You know, that's just kind of life as well. There's always going to be like a monarch or someone with a lot of power and money. But I think, you know, when your citizens are doing that poorly, it's just not fair at all. It's not fair. Like serfs, honestly. So thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.